Over the past couple of weeks, we've been looking at how some major investors have been planning for 2023, including Michael Burry, Warren Buffett, the Wolf of Wall Street, and today it's Raoul Pal. Now, as Raoul is one of the top thought leaders in this space and gets to interview many people in crypto, I do think it's an opinion worth listening to. And so in this video, we'll look at the top 3 things from his year in review, which I'll link to below. And these were: firstly, we all want higher prices, but what actually drives crypto prices? And he explains there are 2 main things. Then we look at where are we in the market cycle? Is there more downside to come, or has the tide already turned? And then we'll finish up with why Raoul believes a 20x is coming and find out what his number 1 pick is for 2023. As always, if you do enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, always appreciated. Okay, so first up, we all want higher crypto prices, right? Well, Raoul explains there's actually 2 things that drive prices higher. And no, it's not supply and demand.
The most important thing about understanding crypto is understanding how to price it. And how I price crypto is essentially 2 major factors. One is global liquidity, and I use global M2 as the main understanding of that. And then there's and that's the cyclical element. And then there's the technological adoption, which is the long-term logarithmic trend. So let's deal with the cycle first. The cycle is what causes all of the pain. And I've been in this space since 2013, and trust me, I know pain. So in the cycle, which coincides with the Bitcoin halving cycle, is the global liquidity cycle. And that's the central banks creating liquidity for the markets and for the economies. So what they tend to do is if the economy gets too hot, they tend to raise rates, liquidity comes down, they withdraw liquidity from the markets, take away QE. We've seen this several times before. And what happens is asset prices come down because they need stimulus. So once you take asset prices down, what happens is the economy starts headed towards a recession or goes into recession, and the monetary easing comes back again because that's the natural state of affairs. So that's kind of how the world sets up. And right now we're in the situation where we've got massive monetary tightening.
So he explains there's actually 2 main things that drive the crypto prices. And the first is liquidity. So how much money is getting put in or pulled out of the economy by the Fed. And then the second is the power and growth of the network. And here is a very interesting chart. It shows the correlation between the M2 money supply and Bitcoin. And as the Fed expands or contracts the money supply, it looks to be directly correlated to crypto prices. And he says this is more important than the 4-year Bitcoin cycle. And so the question is then, so where are we in the cycle? Is there going to be another big leg down, or are we all set now for the next big move higher?
We're also seeing a lot of interesting things like the RSIs, weekly RSIs in Ethereum and Bitcoin are right down at levels that have always seen reversals. We're seeing it with on-chain activity. We're seeing it with minor capitulation. We're also seeing it with volatility. The 30-day realized volatility of both ETH and Bitcoin is at levels that always precedes the large rallies and the big reversals. So I've pretty much got everything in place. Is it possible to get some other down leg? I doubt it, unless something can drive bond yields high. And I just don't see that outside of a temporary blip because one of the inflation numbers or one of the employment numbers is skewed somewhat. So I don't see that happening. So I think we are moving higher. I think ETH based in June, and I've said that for several months now, in fact, since June when I started adding to my positions. The bottom of the cycle is always it's a scam, it's a Ponzi, all the media hates it, everybody throws shit at each other online, everybody's looking for blame, looking for scapegoats. We are exactly in that point now. It is ugly out there. And that ugliness out there is a real measure of where we are in the cycle. So we're at the despair and anger phase. And then we have the acceptance phase, which is the boredom phase, which I think we've rolled into, where prices don't do anything for a while and everyone starts getting fed up and moves on elsewhere.
So according to Raoul, there are many indicators like the RSI, minor capitulation, volatility, that all show that the bottom was hit back in June. And then the other key thing to look for that indicates the bottom of a cycle is sentiment. When most people have been burned, taken huge losses, all the poo flinging, the blame, the anger, and the media all saying crypto is dead, which is pretty much what's going on right now. Okay, and to finish up, if the bottom has already been reached, that means we are on the way back up in 2023. So just how high can crypto prices go in the next cycle?
All I've been doing is letting it come down. And as soon as we've got here, I started really adding in June. And I've been adding ever since. Now, it's a recession. Nobody's got a lot of cash, and nor do I. But I'm doing what I can because, every time you get here, the upside is 10, 20, 30x, depending on what you're buying and where you are. And obviously, you'll get 1000x in whatever it is. Random thing. I can't pick those things ever. You're lucky if you get them. But the point being is the overall space usually does 20x, something like that. Well, 20x of a small bet, still one hell of a bet and better than you'll get in any other financial instrument. I go away and look at this a lot because I just wrote my big macro thesis for Global Macro Investor. And I'm like, look, it's going to be a good year for assets. And so I think 2023 will be a good year. It might be a bit volatile, but it'll be okay. And 2024 is probably really good. So I'm like, okay, so, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, and I want to buy... And then I just look at the charts of all of them versus ETH. And ETH just looks like it's going to outperform. In fact, it did from the 2018 low. So it's the superior bet, whether it's volatility adjusted or outright.
So for Raoul, ever since the lows back in June, he's been dollar cost averaging and adding all excess cash into crypto. He says in the next cycle, we'll be seeing 10, 20, 30x gains. And if you're really lucky, you might get the 100 or 1000x unicorns. He says that 2023 will be a good year for all assets. And the number one asset for him continues to be Ethereum. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now, clearly, Raoul is a major crypto bull and one of the few people that think 2023 is going to be a good year for assets. However, tell me what you think. Let me know below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like and a big thank you to everyone who does. And I'll see you very soon for the last video of the year, my plan for 2023 coming very soon. And for now, bye for now.